morning, everyone. Welcome to day 14 of Acharya Rad Connect 2025, a premier online webinar series dedicated to advancements in medical imaging, organized by Department of Medical Imaging Technology, Acharya Institute of Allied Health Sciences in association with Indian College of Radiological Technology. I am Nasrin, your host for today. I am pleased to introduce Mr. Vashist Baburao Mhalsekar, an accomplished academician and researcher currently serving as an assistant professor at Yenepoya School of Allied Health Sciences, Yenepoya Deemed to be University, Mangalore, Karnataka. Sir is an active contributor to academic and administrative excellence, serving as a member of BOS, SRB, and other committees, and previously as a member of IQAC. Its research and publication portfolios includes one original research paper and two review articles in WS indexed journals, participation as a resource person and guest speaker at both national and international conferences. Sir has also completed two original studies. With a strong background in research and academic leadership, Sir continues to make significant contributions to his field. We extend a warm welcome to you, sir. I request you to kindly begin with the session.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for the introduction. Once again, I would like to give thanks to the Acharya Institute of Allied Health Science, especially Swapnil sir and Muriel madam, to give this opportunity to present webinar. Okay, so without wasting a time, we'll start the session. So we'll discuss about today's topic, that is the functional MRI and the overview and interesting innovations. Yeah. Contents will include today's topic, that is introduction, fMRI, board imaging, technical aspects, and the further innovations. Step by steps, we'll go forward. Okay. So I hope you all can see towards your left side of the image, there is small brain, correct? Brain image of the cerebrum. One side of the cerebrum is uncolored image, and one side, right side of the cerebrum will be the colored image. So basically, what happens once we are start doing any exercise, or we are listening good news or bad news, some of our cerebral part activities such as interesting activities, it will blow our mind, and for few parts of our brain will get activated, or more blood supply towards the particular parts will get more. And downside of the images, you can see such examples are here in good news or bad news. Then again, if you are watching the cricket, again excitation level will go increase, and sometimes they are getting the wickets, then excitation level will go decrease. Again, if you are listening good songs, bad songs also, or as DJs, again excitation levels of our brain will get increased. Okay, so particular amount or the particular part of our brain of the cerebrum will be activates depends on the what type of activities the persons are doing. That's what we will see in the today's topic. Okay, so going to the further part, that is the anatomical part. There is a lateral view you can see of the cerebrum and cerebellum. Then sagittal view towards your right side upper, we can see the image of the sagittal view. Then downside of the right, we can see the inferior view, and left side of the down, we can see the superior view. So the functional areas of the cerebral cortex will look under the with respect to number wise. That is the number one shows the visual area. Here in the occipital lobe, we can see the visual area in the number one in the lateral view. Again, in the sagittal view, we can see the number one. There is a visual area which includes the sight, image recognition, or the image perception. Okay. Then the number two here in the temporal lobe of the lateral view, We can see the association area. Also, in the inferior view of the temporal bone, we can see number two. It includes the association area with short-term memory, equilibrium, and the emotions of the particular person. Okay. Coming to the number three, that superior view, you can see in the yellow color, and also in the lateral view, we can see the yellow color. Okay, also sagittal view, we can see number three, that is the motor function area, initiations of the voluntary muscles. Okay. Then fourth one, we can see the Broca's area here in the lateral view. Number four, we can see the Broca's area. Okay. It's designates for the translate thoughts, the words into the sentences. Okay. Broca's area designates from the whatever thoughts we are thinking, it will be converted into words or the particular sentences. Okay. Then coming to fifth number, that is the auditory area. Again, lateral view we can see. It represents the hearing of a particular person. Okay. Then emotional area, that is number six. You can see the sagittal view here. Number six designates for the emotional area. For example, pain, hunger if you are feeling hunger, then flight or fight of responses. Then number seven consists of an sensory association area just above the number six. There is number seven here. I hope all of you can see my cursor, right? So it represents the sensory association area. The number eight designates for the olfactory area. You can see here in the inferior view, which is designates for the olfactory area. Also in the sagittal view, number eight, we can see here, which is present for the olfactory area. For example, smelling of good smell or bad smell. It is. Okay. Then coming towards the nine, there is sensory area. In the parietal lobe of the lateral view, we can see the sensation from the muscles of the particular skin. Okay. Then the somatosensory associations areas are the number 10. Just below to the 9 parietal lobe, there is somatosensory association areas, evaluation of the weight, texture, temperature, etc. for object recognitions. Okay. Just below to the number 10, there is the number 11, that is Wernicke's area. Here, Wernicke's area, which represents the written and spoken language comprehension. Then number 12 represents for an eye movement and the orientations. It is there in the cerebral cortex here. Then number 13 represents for the frontal lobe, that is higher mental functions such as concentration, then planning, then judgment, emotional expressions, creativity, and inhibitions. Then other functions, number 14, that is coming under cerebellum, which includes the motor functions, coordination of the movement, and balance and equilibrium posture. Moving towards the next part, there is a motor and the sensory part of the brain. Motor is coming, which we had marked as a red area, and the sensory part we have marked as a blue color area. Okay. So coming to a motor part of the brain, see, coming towards the motor part of the brain, which includes the gyri of the or a cerebrum, you can see of the swallowing tongue here, this part, then jaws and the lips, then upper part slightly we are going to the face, eyebrows, and the neck of the person. Then again, if we are going towards this part, that is the thumb and fingers and waist, it will get activated. Then elbow joint, arm, shoulder, trunk, and hip, and the at last will be the knee and the toes. Okay. Coming towards the sensory part of the brain, there is the genitals, then leg and hip trunk, then neck and head, arm, elbow, forearm, and hand, fingers, and thumb. Then it comes towards the slowly down parts, where you can see the eyes, nose, face, and lips. Then slowly downwards, if we are going, then will be able to see the teeth, thumbs, and jaw. Then tongues. Then slowly down part, we can see the pharynx part. Then below towards there is a infraorbital. Okay. Then overview, we can see the frontal lobe. We can towards the right side of the image in the red in color, which is designates for the thinking, speaking, memory movement. Then parietal lobe, which designates for the language and the touch. Then occipital lobe, which is mentioned in green color, which designates for the vision and color perception. Then cerebellum designates for the balance coordination. Then brainstem designates for the breathing, heart rate, and temperature. Then temporal lobe designates for the hearing, learning, and the feelings. Okay. So moving towards the fMRI part, there is a functional magnetic resonance imaging, which is a technique used to obtain functional information by visualizing the cortical activity. fMRI then detects the subtle alteration in blood flow in response to stimuli or the different types of actions. So in the MRI, there is the plain brain structure. This is the structural plain brain of the MRI. These are the small gyri, and this is the cerebrum, okay, as we all know. So functional MRI shows the image such like this, which is within full of colors. If whichever movement at the time of doing scanning, whichever movements a person is doing, it will be highlighted in the brain. Whichever part is getting activated, it will be highlighted in color in the brain. Okay. So coming towards the next, that is bird imaging. Bird imaging is nothing as such but blood oxygenation level dependent imaging. It is the standard technique used to generate images in functional MRI studies and relies on the regional differences in the cerebral blood flow to delineate the regional activity. In simple language, if we are saying that what do we mean by bird imaging? So whatever person is doing activity at the time of scanning, it will be highlighted in the color in the board sequence. We can see over here towards the right side down image, it is a small part of the cerebrum is highlighted. Okay, in the axial sections also we can see the movement of the particular person is getting highlighted. Again, in deep we can see we can go in the deep. If the person is suppose the person is not doing any activity towards your left side of the image, you can see the person is closes the eye, taking rest. Normal blood flow will be there. Oxygenated blood flow will be there to the particular person's area of the brain. Okay. So suddenly the person is thinking and waking up and looking particular area. So opening the eyes, then visual cortex will be activated. Then for the visual cortex part of the brain, that blood supply should be more required. So here the brain is saying we want more blood supply. That will be highlighted in the board sequence. So coming to the hemodynamic response, first what will happen with respect to the graph in axial in axis we can see the T2 star signal and y sequence or y axis we can see the time in seconds. So initially what will happen if we flow graph in the straight line, then suddenly its stimuli is activated or stimulus or actions is happen, then it will go little bit down the graph and it will be catching up the peak because more amount of the blood supply or blood flow will be more towards the particular part of the brain. Okay, and then after some times, if person's thinkings will be in the relaxed position, automatically the blood flow will be coming onto the normal positions. Here is also same things. Okay, neural activity shows in the red color and the board signal metabolic reactivity will suddenly it will get spiked at the time of the stimulus. Okay. Again, here you can see in a little bit deep details. There is a term known as cerebral blood flow and cerebral blood volume. So the cerebral blood flow is a particular amount of blood is flowing towards the particular area in a particular artery. Okay, and the particular in a particular seconds. And the cerebral blood volume is a particular amount of blood or the volume of blood is flow in a particular area in a particular seconds as well as how much amount of blood we can say is flowing in a particular time towards the particular area. Okay. In the red sections of the red line, blue line, we can see the how much blood flow is there in a particular area at the time of the stimulus. Okay, from the 0 to 30 seconds. And the cerebral blood volume is in black color shows how much amount of blood is transferred into the particular area. So here the blood body imaging shows in the red line here, blood structures. So for what are the requirements we require to study or to scan a particular body imaging? That the high field strength MR scanner, then high performance gradients, then RF cores and accessory hardware. This is the MR systems, and these are the MR scanner gradients. That is red coil, X coil in the red color, and Y coil in the yellow color. Okay, in blue color it is a transceiver coil. Then we can see here this thing joystick in the MRI system. Okay, cable the patient is holding the joysticks. Okay, for the stimulus we are giving this the images of the joysticks. Then this is the visual pad. Visual pad is also an accessory to show different types of pictures, good pictures, also bad pictures, sad pictures also. This is again the MRI systems. Okay, and these are the visual pad monitors. These are the visual pad monitors. This is the brain coil, and this is the headset. So again, we will see about the areas of the brain, that is Broca's area. Broca's areas, I repeat, it will convert our thoughts into the words or the sentences. Okay, whatever we are thinking, it will help to convert into the particular wordings or full sentences. Okay, we are highlighting over here Broca's area, then Wernicke's area here. It will show the language comprehensions. Then basal temporal language area, then speech area. This is the lips, jaw, and tongue and throat, and this is the auditory cortex. So Broca's areas and Wernicke's areas will be able to see here. Broca's areas and Wernicke's areas in the image with respect to MRI images. Okay, I hope you all can see clearly. In the red color, it's getting highlighted, the Wernicke's area. These are some of the paradigms we can see here. The memory encoding images, hit miss and not sure. Then memory retrievals images. But for the paradigms, if especially we are using for the visual motor functions and speech and for the memories. Okay. So in the MRI system, in this right side corner image, you can see the simple motor task. That is, we are closing the hand and we are opening the hand like this, so that the particular image or the particular blood supply towards the particular amount of particular blood supply will be activated inside the brain. Okay, these are the small types of activities like this we are doing. You can see the images properly, right? So downside of the image, we can see the flickering checkerboard. If you are continuously looking at the checkerboard, this part of the anatomy will be activated. Will be able to see the particular parts of the anatomy inside the brain at the time of scanning will be activated. So again, this is the comprehensive types. This is the baseline. We can see when the graph is very low, it will be looking at the checkerboard. If the checkerboard picture is showing to the patient at the time of scanning, graph will be low because patients won't be that much excited to see the checkerboard. Unless if you are showing the flowers and the colors or books, then patient might be thinking which type of color, which type of flower it is, and what types of books which is interesting and all. So the blood flow area towards the patient's brain or the cerebrum will be increased. Okay, these are the small examples of the comprehensive task at the time of scanning we can serve. So next one, the overview of and commonly used functional MR imaging paradigms in clinical practice. So paradigms are verbal fluency, then passive listening, and the comprehension. So for verbal fluency, task we are giving a generate verb for from a pre-sentence noun or pictures. Presentations are auditory or the visuals we can give to the patients. Comments we receive is the visual simulations. The reading interpretation of picture is more perhaps too difficult to perform. And next task we about verbal fluency only is to generate word that starts with the presented letter. Presentations will be given as the auditory or the again visual. If the task is too difficult, subject may be instructed to think of a word starting with the next letter alphabet instead. Okay. So next one is to generate a complete word from a presented stem or to generate words in a given category or name the pictures in the line frames. So again, the presentations will be the auditory or else the visual also. Then for the naming of the picture or line drawings, so visually we can show inside the MRI systems. With respect to comments, we can get that is reportedly less reliable than word generations for accessing localizations. Then passive listenings of the paradigms are listen or to standard text, listening to stories or else listening to sentences. Presentations how we'll give with the earpods we'll give towards to the patients at the time of scanning and comments will be so that easy to perform even by children's parents implement and other small children's also or else adults also or age people also old age people also. Next one is listening to text from the subject's favorite book or the magazine that is auditory presentations we can use. So really it is useful in children's can be performed even when subject is asleep or else the subject is sedated also. Then comprehension paradigm, then task we can give about respond to presented news with non with one word or answer, read text or the sentences. Presentations will can be visual or the auditory. So basically, this is the MRI system over here. This is the MRI board system. Patients will be inside the MRI system. Coil will be placed. Address will be given. And also we are given the joysticks in patient's hand. Okay, what will happen here? Joystick will track the activity of the particular persons. Then response pad will they handle. From the response pad, it will go to the synchronize with MRI data. Okay, some of the technical factors we can use when the planar imaging, which represents the fastest available scanning method and fulfills most of the requirements demands by the fMRI. Then some of the post processing are MATLAB, FSL, Brainwagon, and the SPM. These all are the post processing techniques. With the respect to post processing techniques, they will visualize a graph of the CBF and the cerebral volume also. Okay. These are the some of the images which we have given with respect to bilateral fingertipping. Fingertipping on both the side, it will getting activated. In the red color of the within the images, you can see clearly. When lip, again, you can see the axial images here of the lip mounting. Again, bilateral leg motors can be seen here in sagittal image as well as the CL image. Then the Broca's areas can be seen here, both the side, here and here, left and right sides. Okay. Again, the motor areas, then the visual cortex area, Some of the clinical applications for the fMRIs is for the brain tumor, then epilepsy surgery, then pre-symptomatic diagnosis, drug involvements, individualization of therapies, and understanding functional brain disorders. And early studies also suggest that fMRI has the potential to be used as a biofeedback for conditions such as chronic pain. So again, this is one of the case I want to tell you about a left-hand unilateral tactile stimulus in 19-year-old epilepsy patients. This patient was unable to perform left-hand finger tapping due to the extensive right frontal temporal infarct. So here in this image, you can see to the left side is unable to perform. The left side is functions. You can see here clear images, but the right side is the patient is unable to function properly. Right side we are unable to see the patient's activity. Whatever patients are doing the activity, right side we are unable to see. Okay. Next, coming towards some of the innovations, that is Robert J. Satter, as cognitive neuroscientist, has done them in McGill University, and the innovations are musicians' brains functions. So here what they will do in this image is they will make place a patient inside the MRI systems and they will give a small guitar-like structure and musicians. So they will start playing it. I repeat, these musical structures is compatible towards the MRI system. Okay, it's totally non-metallic. And it is electromusical company. Its name is MR Compatible Cello Optic Fibers and Cables and Cello Thinkers Music. So what they will do in this, they will place patients inside the board system and they will tell the patients to play the music in it. Okay. So with respect to hearing of the music also and playing of the music, this small amount of the patient's cerebrum will be getting activated. We'll be able to see every color of the patient's cerebrum, which is getting more activated. Okay, this is the few innovations. Again, the hearing of the sound also, patients are getting activated while playing also. Okay, this is with respect to musicians of the auditory context and the non-musicians. Okay, you can see the frontal lobes towards your left side also. You can see the non-musicians are at these frontal lobes. Okay, so by this, I would like to end of today's fMRI topic. So before ending up, I would like to tell about if the brain were so simple, you could understand it. It would be so simple, you could done. So again, once again, I would like to say thank you to Mr. Swapnil sir and also Marian madam to give me an opportunity to present topic.
If
Yeah.
anyone has any questions or doubts, you can post in the chat box. Sir can answer it for you. So there are a few questions in the chat box. First question is how T2 star works in fMRI.
Wait a second, huh? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello.
yes, sir.
Yeah. With respect to T2 star, I think it will be depends on the cerebral blood flow in particular area. I think so it is. Hello.
Sir, another question is please
Yeah.
explain briefly about bolt sequence and it only detect bolt oxygen level.
See, basically, the whole sequence will map the brain activity by detecting the changes of the blood flow with respect to oxygen and also deoxygenated levels. Okay, so whole sequence will highlight what are the how much the blood flow and how much the blood volume in the particular area of the particular cerebrum area, I mean to say. So it will detect how much particular amount of the blood will flow in the particular area, and also the how much amount I have shown into the graphs as well about the blood flow of the oxygenated blood, how much it is flowing inside the particular area after doing the particular activity by the particular patients at the time of the scanning. That is why it is mentioned as bold imaging. The name itself suggests it.
Sir, next question is why we use gradient field mapping in fMRI?
So, gradient field mapping. As per this thing, it will use this for the corrections for the magnetic field distortions. In detail, I don't have that much idea about the gradient field mapping, so I'll go through it and I'll let you know soon in detail. As per my this thing, it will be corrections for the magnetic field distortions, but still I have to go through it. Proceed.
So the next question is does fMRI requires any contrast media?
Yeah, camera doesn't require any contrast media, but because it itself shows how much of the cerebral blood volume and cerebral blood flow is flows into the particular area of the part, no? So it doesn't require any contrast media.
So next question is can you please tell more about fMRI post processing?
See, about the post-processing techniques of the MRI, it will totally depends on the which companies they are using the machineries. So, with respect to the graph of the blood flow, in the post-processing techniques, we can be segregate about a particular pathology also, which part is more activated, which part is more less activated. For example, stroke patients, tumor patients also. in the epilepsy also, which part is more active at the time of giving paradigms, which part will be more active or which one is more uh, getting more supply of the blood. Depends on that also processing we can see. We can see later on. It will highlight the particular area also. It will help to for the diagnosis purpose later on for the detection of the cerebrum part. I mean to say. And again, for the 3D structures, we have to select a particular area in the sagittal axial plane also, so that we'll get exact particular points. Which part is having, which part is non-functioning in both sides, right side of the cerebrum as well as the left side of the cerebrum. Yeah.
So the another question is, how can I analyze fMRI data so that I figure out which brain regions are the most activated in each group?
Can I read one more? Where is the question? Can I repeat the question?
How can I analyze fMRI data so that I figure out which brain regions are the most activated in each group?
There is a, I already chart is there, for the analyzation of fMRI data. So brain regions will be like in a different, uh, in a different area of the part. For example, frontal lobe, temporal lobe also. There is a human being's brain activates or else react. For example, in temporal lobe, there is a hearing and then the learning or the feelings also. Then in frontal lobes, there is pieces might be about thinking, speaking, memory movement. Then again, it will be in parietal lobe. There is a language and touch of the particular actions. Then occipital lobe, we can see the vision and color perception. So with respect to lobe of the particular brain, we can analyze that which part of the brain is most, which region of the part of the brain is active or non-active. Next,
Why we measure oxyhemoglobin level alone in fMRI?
sorry,
Why we measure oxyhemoglobin level alone in fMRI?
uh, I have to look into these questions. Okay, I'll get back to you later on. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
See. Yeah, next one.
So the next question is how to omit wrong responses in event-related fMRI analysis.
How to
Omit wrong responses in event-related fMRI analysis.
wrong responses means I didn't get. Wrong responses means we can say, for example, um, if we are giving paradigm for the finger tapping and all towards the patient, so we'll be looking under towards the particular lobe of the area of the cerebrum only. We won't see another lobe. We'll be focusing on the particular lobe only. That's why I mentioned starting of the anatomical part, which lobe it designates for what type of activities inside the cerebrum, which ropes is more responsible for the activities of the particular actions for the different types of actions. For example, temporal lobes is designates for the hearing and learnings of the feel or the feeling of the particular person. Then again, brainstem is designates for the breathing and all. So how to omit means, but if we are giving particular activity towards the particular person at the time of scanning. So we'll be focusing on that part of the area only. We won't be focused to the other part because we had already given the activity to do so and so activity towards the person. So I don't think so it will that much effect of other activities also persons are doing for the diagnosis purpose. I don't think so it will affect that much. Yeah.
It seems like there are no more questions. Thank you so much, sir, for taking the session today on fMRI. I am sure our participants were able to make sure use of this session. It was very good explanation that you gave us on how different areas of brain are involved in the cognitive tasks or motor activities and how this can be mapped using an MRI. Before we conclude, let me brief the participants about the next speaker for tomorrow. We shall have with us Ms. Deepika, our full-time PhD scholar, Sri Ramachandra Institute of Medical Sciences, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, who will be speaking on topic virtual reality in radiology, simulation on interventional radiology. Once again, on behalf of everyone present, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Mr. Vashist Baburao Ma- Mhalsekar, sir, for your enlightening session. Your insights were truly valuable, and we appreciate the time and effort you put into sharing your knowledge with us. I also thank all the attendees for your active participation today. See you all tomorrow at 11 a.m. Until then, take care, stay safe, and have a wonderful day.